Ever since I got my first job and started earning my own money, I always looked for some sort of side hustle or some way to make a little bit more every single month. I've tried a few things over the years to increase my income, and I feel like sharing that in a video could provide some value for those looking to do the same. So in today's video, I just wanted to go over some of those odd jobs or unconventional methods I've tried, as well as my overall experience with them. Here are unconventional ways I've made money. But first, if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Here we talk about minimalism, frugal living, tech, and things of that nature. So if that sounds good to you, and you end up liking the video, be sure to like, and please use Winter Soldier's alt on the subscribe button. Let's get started. This is my first video being recorded post-surgery, so bear with me as I shake off the rust. Acting. Possibly the most interesting, unconventional way that I've made money was acting in small roles. I had a small role with a few lines in a feature film years ago, and a few short films where the pay varied pretty drastically. But knowing what I got paid for just a few lines in a relatively low budget feature film, I can say that a lot of actors are probably paid rather well. But since then, I have indeed signed up for websites like Backstage.com, where occasionally I'll audition for local and national casting calls, or even occasionally get invited to audition for certain roles. As for my overall opinion on acting as an unconventional way to make money, it's obviously super competitive, which can be unattractive for someone who's just looking for a side income. But it definitely pays well, is exciting, and is just a cool thing to try. I definitely recommend, at the very least, looking into if this is something that slightly interests you. I'll leave a link down below to the site that I use and I think has a pretty good reputation for getting jobs. Selling digital products. I've mentioned countless times before about my online store where I sold wallpapers for phones, tablets, and computers, as well as some custom filters. The site is actually currently on pause because I'm currently looking for a different site where I could just make them completely free to download and not have to link any type of payment option. I used Procreate on my iPad mini to draw and design high quality wallpapers and sold them on my digital wallpaper store. Most of the time they were just a pay what you want price or completely free. And it was really just a way to support the channel if you could. But I think it would be far more lucrative to create something that most people can't just do themselves like I do with wallpapers. There's a YouTuber that I watch who's literally made hundreds of thousands of dollars back in the day selling Tumblr layouts. And I'm pretty sure there's like a 20-year-old kid out there who made $1 million off his Notion template. I think if you're really good at something specific like graphic design or coding, you could actively or passively make a lot of money if you just found a way to sell it. I feel like we're always hearing about people who make digital products and make massive amounts of money, which I suppose is possible if you're either really good or just have a really expensive product. And especially if you're already doing something like this as a hobby, there are a ton of free sites you could sign up for where you can sell this product with really no risk. I feel like such a finance bro when I talk about selling products, but I promise I'm not. I recommend just thinking about something you're specifically good at creating digitally, or even if you're not good, giving it a try and seeing if selling them is something you'd find interest in. Selling clothes on apps. If you're just getting started decluttering your clothes, this is easily the best way to make money doing it. Some time ago, I had luck selling clothes on an app called Poshmark, and I was actually shocked how quickly things sell on there. I listed things like heavy-duty jackets and sweaters I had, and while the fees the app took were annoying, I still made enough for it to be worth it. There are people on these apps that I'm pretty sure use it as a full-time income because their profiles just look like storefronts. But if you're somebody who's already looking to declutter clothes and make a little bit of extra cash, I recommend checking out Poshmark or Depop to see if you can get anything for them. Because aside from making a little bit of money and decluttering, it really is just a satisfying and accomplishing feeling decluttering them this way. OfferUp. Kind of in the same realm as selling clothes on an app, this is where I just sell everything else. OfferUp is just an app where you can sell anything you have locally or ship it off. And over the 5 years of having my account, I have almost 100 things sold. Either things I was trying to clear out of my ownership, or even listing furniture for sale that family members were just trying to get rid of and us splitting the money. You really don't have much to lose. I've said it before and I'll say it again, people will buy almost anything you're selling, and oftentimes you might even find something here to buy used like I have in the past. If I add up everything I've made from just selling things on OfferUp, it would easily be at least a couple $1,000s. Obviously, selling used items on an app isn't the most unconventional way of making money, but to me it is because it's not a regular job. DoorDash. I think I might have briefly mentioned before that I did in fact try being a DoorDash driver as a side income, albeit for a laughably short amount of time. But I did feel like I got a pretty good idea of how it would be as a side income or even a second job. Again, this isn't really something that's totally unconventional, but if it's not something where I'm sitting down and clocking in for a full shift, it is to me. I actually signed up to do this because a few people I knew were doing it and figured I would just give it a try. Overall, my opinion on being a driver for a little bit of extra money, well, it really depends. And I hate that answer too, but hear me out. I'm already someone who pretty much hates to drive, which is literally about 97% of this job, so it wasn't a good fit for me. But for someone who likes driving and could put in the hours upon hours a day, many days a week, I can actually see this being worth it, especially if you value things like setting your own hours and a lot of alone time. As for everything on this list, I would put this probably somewhere down on the bottom, but again, that's just how it relates to my interest and why I didn't enjoy it so much. Freelance video. One career I really wanted in my early 20s was to just shoot freelance video full time. So since then, I was actually able to get a fair amount of paid work over the years, making videos for people, companies, and friends. I've recorded for weddings, music videos, and even a barber shop at one point, all alone as a one-person show. And if you're not interested in using a camera as a side income, the general idea of just putting you and your skill set out there for money is simple and can be rewarding. I know for myself, I had and sort of still have major imposter syndrome when recording videos in any capacity, because actually accepting money from people really puts the pressure on. But as a method of unconventional income or a full-time second job, freelance video work was really fun, rewarding, and can pay rather well. At the risk of sounding like some sort of finance pro or guru, I do think there are a decent amount of ways to earn money on the side if you just look hard enough. I really just recommend thinking about what you're good at or what you enjoy the most to see if there's any way you could turn that into some sort of passion project. Also, let me know about anything you guys do for a second job or a side income down in the comments, and I'll go a step further to even ask you to comment with your website or just what you specifically do as well. Maybe it'll inspire some others to try the same. Anyways, as always, I appreciate the time you spent here and I appreciate you watching. If you did like this video and you like this type of content, be sure to like and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you next time.